in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait, the earth began to cool, the autotrophs began to drool, Neanderthals developed tools, we built a wall, we built the pyramids. Science history, unraveling the mystery, it all started with a big bang.
What's up, Bulldogs? I'm Fiji Boy Ben.
I'm Bella.
And here are guys' morning announcements. Veterans Day is tomorrow. Thanksgiving break is on the 22nd. And the Cinderella play is on the 16th, the 17th, and the 18th. And just in case you lost something, there's lost and found here. It's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff, so come get it.
Happy birthday to Talon and Dominique Whirling.
Well.
Have a great day, Bulldogs.
Hello Bulldogs, it's Logan with Jacob, and we have your weather. Today we got a high of 61, a low of 32, and it's currently 50 degrees and sunny, as you can see. And yep. Alright, and then today we have an increased threat of fire due to dry conditions, so watch out for fires. Stay cool, Bulldogs. See ya.
Alright, what's up, Bulldog Nation? It's BB Burner 23 and Chuck with your daily sports report.
I got your college football games for this weekend. We got Alabama versus Kentucky, number 2 Michigan versus number 9 Penn State.
That'd be a good game.
Arizona versus Colorado, Tennessee versus Missouri, number 13 Utah against number 5 Washington, and Georgia versus Mississippi.
And Ohio State plays
Ohio
Michigan
versus
State. Okay, so last night, the Bears beat the Panthers. It was a terrible football game, but congrats to Mr. Grafflin. Go Bears. The Browns play the Ravens this weekend. Bengals play the Texans. Lions play the Chargers. And Commanders play the Seahawks. There's your daily sports report for today, Bulldogs.
Well, howdy doody Bulldogs. Today we're doing 3 facts about World War I to honor our veterans on Veterans Day Eve, because Veterans Day is tomorrow. So, the first fact, Armistice Day, which is what Veterans Day was originally called, was started because of the ceasefire in World War I.
World War I was the first war fought on land, air, and sea.
Alright, and your final fact, the spark of World War I was the assassination of Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
What? Franz Ferdinand?
Hey Tyler, I got a joke for you.
Oh, let me hear it.
Alright, what would bears be without bees?
I don't know.
Ears.
That was a pretty good joke.
Thank you.
Anyways, let's do word of the day. Today's word is bafola. He's gonna tell you what it means.
Alright, a joke or line in a script meant to get a laugh.
Oh, so if I were to use that in a sentence, it would be like, your joke just got a lot of bafola.
Thank you.
Guess what? We have an extra knowledge day today. Come on, Ben, let's hear it.
Your quote for today is, when you give joy to other people, you get more joy in return.
Wow, ain't that just lovely? Remember, laugh out loud, LOL, lol.
What's up, Bulldogs? I'm String Cheese.
I'm Devin.
And welcome to This Day in History.
In 1775, the U.S. Marine Corps was born. In 1928, the World War I novel All Quiet on the Western Front is published. In 1975, a cargo ship suddenly sinks in Lake Superior. And in 2001, George W. Bush addresses the United Nations regarding terrorism.
The Polar Express, released in 2004. Daddy's Home 2, Paddington 2, and The Man Who Invented Christmas, all released in 2017. And Clifford the Big Red Dog, released in 2021. You guys have a great day. What's up, Bulldogs? This is Mrs. Beiser with your joke today.
Okay, guys. What do sprinters eat before they race? Nothing. They fast.
What's
up, Bulldogs? So again, tomorrow officially is Veterans Day, but we're going to recognize Veterans Day today. So we're doing Veterans Day shout-outs. I got 3. Oscar Kress served in World War II. He was in D-Day. He was in Okinawa. His boat got hit by a kamikaze. He's passed. This is my grandpa, Ralph Stickle. He was in World War II, fought in Europe. And then Mike Holland is my father-in-law, and he was in Korea. So there's my 3 shout-outs.
I want to shout out my grandfather, Rupert Stringfield. He fought in World War II.
I'd like to shout out my aunt, my uncle, and my 3 grandpas.
I want to shout out my brother, Caleb.
And what branch is he in?
The Air Force.
Where is he?
In Missouri. He's going to be moving to Delaware soon.
I'd like to shout out my cousin who's in the Marines right now.
Where is he?
No clue.
Okay, but he's in the Marines.
I'm giving a shout out to my fiance who's in the Air Force and my grandpa who is also in the Air Force.
Shout out to my uncle who was in the military and my grandpa who was in the Air Force.
Shout out to my grandpa who was in the military.
What branch was he in? The one that fought, okay.
Shout out to my grandpa. I don't remember what, he was in the Air something.
Air Force?
Yeah.
Okay.
My brother, Matt Klein, and his wife, Christine, were both in the Army.
I want to give my husband, Wesley Beiser, a shout out. He served 7 years in the United States Navy. Thank you.
And I'll give a shout out to my son, Logan Dickinson, who has spent 5 years in the United States Army, and to my nephew, Blake Smith, who is serving in the United States Air Force.
I want to give a shout out to Charles Edwards, who's one of our security officers here. He served in the United States Navy.
I want to give a Veterans Day shout out to my good friend Justin Thompson.
What branch?
Army.
Shout out to Cody Stemley, Army National Guard, deployed to Afghanistan and got out of the military in 2014.
My father-in-law, Howard Dehart, was in Korea and World War II.
Shout out to my husband, Chip Hartley, who served in the Air Force, and to my grandfather, Patrick Moran, who drove a tank at D-Day.
Shout out to Braden Griffith, who just graduated last year. He's in the Navy, so that's pretty cool. Had him for 8 years in class. And my dad was in the Air Force a long time ago.
Shout out to my grandfather, Raymond Linder, who was in World War II.
What branch?
Navy. He was on a minesweeper.
My grandpa, he was in the Air Force.
I have 2 family members. My uncle Carlo, which was a part of the Air Force, a CB. And then I have a uncle David that was in the Air Force.
I've got too many. Like half my uncles are from there. But my grandpa was Navy. I have an uncle who was Army.
Okay.
My grandpa was Jack, and he was in the Army.
Go.
Shout out to my grandpa. He was in the Army, but he has passed. Yep.
Shout out to my dad, who was in the Army, and my 2 brother-in-laws were in the Marines, and then I had a son-in-law in the Army.
Shout out to my grandpa, which served in the Vietnam and Vietnam Wars during the Korea and the Vietnam Wars. They served in the Army.
Doug Whitney and Matt Whitney, both in the Army.
My dad, and he is in the Air Force.
Still serving in the Air Force?
He just retired last year. Not last year, but last month.
Okay.
I have 2 relatives that fought in World War I and World War II.
Bill J. Army. My Uncle Dom and my Grandpa Army.
My Aunt Joe, Marines.
Sergeant Brian Prosser in the Army, and retired Marcy Bowerman, Air Force.
My dad was in the Army, and I also had brothers that were in the Army and Navy.
My dad was in the Marines, and my great-grandpa was in the Army.
My grandpa was in the Marines, and my uncle was in the Army.
My dad's family friend was in the Navy.
My dad was patrolling the DMZ in the Army.
My dad's running buddy is Kyle Bowman. He is in the Army.
Shout out my brother-in-law Mitchell Highcamp for National Guard.
My half-brother Jesse Hicks, he was in the Marines.
My grandpa Norman Chrisman in the Navy.
My cousin Heather Gallagher, she's in the Air Force.
My uncle that was in the Army.
Great-grandfather in the Army and grandfather in the Army.
Jim Swearingen, United States Army.
All right, I want to shout out to my grandfather who served in World War II, my second grandfather who earned a Purple Heart in World War II, and then my dad who served in the Army as well. So those three in my family.
My brother Jeff, Lieutenant Colonel Jeff Ryan, U.S. Air Force retired.
Nice. There he is.
My father-in-law, Wayne Woolry, and my uncle Tom Yates.
What branch?
Uncle Tom was Air Force. Wayne was in the Army.
Okay.
Go, whoever.
Chris August, Al August, Charlie August, Shelby Boone, and Kyle Boone.
Got branches for us?
United States Army and Ohio National Guard.
My father-in-law, Howard Dehart, was in Korea and World War II.
I'm Lowry in the military.
What branch are they in?
Marines.
The Navy.
Well, what about the Navy?
Well, joined on Thursday.
Joined the Navy on Thursday. All right, good for you.
I'd like to shout out my dad for being in the U.S. Army. He retired at a CW3.
My uncle that was in the Air Force.
Okay.
Or actually, wait, no, he wasn't in the Air Force.
My grandpa Norman Chrisman in the Navy.
My cousin...
What you?
My half-brother Jesse Hicks, he was in the Marines.
Ethan Tinnerman, United States Navy, and Donald Grover, Air Force, I think.
Okay. And where's your brother? Where's he stationed right now?
He's in Fiji.
Fiji.
Colton Leach, and he is in the Marines.
And who is he?
My brother.
Okay.
My grandfather Jack, and he was in the Army.